Hey yo, I am back for another stream. My goal with this is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, doing a stream. Getting up there. I am just testing out my settings again. I don't know what replay buffer is. What? OBS, what is replay buffer? Allows you to save the last X seconds of videos to your disk. Oh, no, I don't need that. I'm just straight streaming today. And then let me just test out all these links, see how they sound. So give me one sec. Sounds decent. Okay. Let me jump into it then. Let me just check one more, see how things are sounding. Okay, I think I'm ready to rock and roll then. Well, yesterday I had like 10 disconnects while trying to stream. I realized the bit rate was way too high. I was setting like 6,000 kbps over, and that was crashing the stream. So hopefully this time it's a little better. Let me turn on audio again. All right. So we will be picking up where we left off yesterday. Essentially, I'm making a content creation system and a customer outreach system. These are both personal software for now that I'm making so that I can easily just hop on the stream, and if I wanted to like make some short form content, I can do that. If I wanted to do some customer outreach, I am thinking about doing like website development for a super cheap rate just to have stuff to work on the stream as well. I mean, obviously I can just keep making personal software, but I think at some point, once there is viewers and stuff, that we can actually build stuff that you guys can learn off of. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep working on this guy. So let me refresh so you guys know what's being worked on here. So this started off just like a simple Express server. I hooked onto the X API to fetch my bookmarks, and then essentially I am hooking up an LLM and having to do some web search in order for it to like create scripts for me and seeing if it's worthwhile even to do. And so here's a few that I've bookmarked today. So one is Data Lab. It's an OCR tool. And if I go to the code, this code, I do have a few content types. I have tech news, coding tools, a product, or a new product feature. And I think those are the things I'm more interested about making. And actually doing a video about. I ask you to do some research, give it a score if it's worth even trying to do it, and then give me 2 scripts, one for short form, one for long form, and then essentially just spitting all that back out. And then I want to hook that into Notion so it can like back up everything over there. So let's try this out. This is the recent Data Lab OCR tool. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So OCR is a state-of-the-art OCR model that converts images and PDFs into structured HTML, Markdown, JSON while preserving layout information. So I'm going to go ahead and analyze this. And this is using, what model am I using for this? Let me see. OpenAI GPT 5.4. So I also wanted to check out how much this is costing me. So I might do that as well, because I am using the Vercel dashboard or Vercel gateway. I'm going to look at the dashboard to see how much each request is costing me. Again, I'm not looking to do this super frequently, but at least on a daily basis, and then saving these results. Where is AI Gateway? Last 12 hours. I'm not really seeing any Yeah, this is kind of confusing. Oh, maybe it's on my other plan? AI Gateway. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it looks like it is costing me about 13 cents to make this request. And you can see it's done. It scores it a 5 out of 5. The content type is coding tool. The short form script, everyone is sleeping on this new open OCR model. It's called Chandra 2. And if these benchmarks hold up, it's kind of ridiculous. This model reportedly scores 85.9 on the OLM OCR bench, which puts it ahead of some very recognizable OCR systems, and does it within a 4 billion model instead of a bigger 7 billion, 8 billion, or 9 billion class. Kind of a mouthful, I would say. But decent. There's a new OCR model. According to the post, that sounds niche. It really isn't. OCR is one of those categories that quietly powers huge amount. Most people still think OCR is an old school utility. Yeah, and this is just a longer form script. Yeah, that's decent. So essentially, I want to save this into Notion as a potential video if I like the output. Another thing I wanted to add too, maybe I'll start with that, but right now you can see there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 bookmarks that get displayed here. I'll probably update this to like, let me see. Everything is in one file for the server. That's the step count. You gotta be in here somewhere. Oh yeah, max results. So I might do like 50. I'm trying to figure out how much stuff I'm bookmarking. But essentially, I want to do one call that kind of goes through and see if there's like stuff worth grouping together. Because especially for tech news, a lot of stuff I don't want to like do a deep dive on. I just want to do like a overview of like what's going on. Things like coding tools or a new product or new product feature. Those are things like I want to sign up. I want to, actually try it out. I still want to use a script to like at least just read out loud and record that segment and then interlay some of the stuff that I'll be going through here on stream, which is actually trying out the tool and seeing if it's worth using. So keyframe interval. It looks like the keyframe interval is acting weird. Which is fine. I'm looking at the stream stuff because, again, yesterday it cut out like 10 different times. So, yeah, let's return 50, and then I will start by saying... maybe I won't start with that. Because ideally what I would like, if it does like go through and reads all the bookmarks, it categorizes it ahead of time, and then maybe I can bundle the reading that way. But yeah, let's skip on that part. I think what I will work on is saving this to Notion. So let me add, let's say, here I'll switch around this layout real quick. This is for the vertical string. I want to add a new button after the AI analysis is complete. I want to save the results to Notion, and I want to add Notion. Interesting. What is this? Huh. I've never seen this before. There's like a Notion plugin that just popped up. I mean, sure. Try and chat. I don't know what's gonna happen here. I hope it doesn't expose my details and stuff, but I mean, I don't really care. I don't have anything like crazy in my Notion, just my entire life, but authenticate. Okay. Sure, buddy. Open cursor. Nice. Query a database. Database query. Create page. Create database row. This is where I'm not super clear. Like, would this project be aware of the Notion MCP? Or does that just live in Cursor? Because technically this is a standalone project. I mean, I can run this, just independently with Node in the terminal. And then so I might need to hook up the Notion API. Might be good because it has... maybe I should. I'll experiment with that a little bit. Let's see what it says here. Let's see. If I'm looking to to integrate Notion into this application, which is a node server. Maybe I'll just tag the file where after doing some AI analysis on a post, I want to save that post to a Notion DB. I want to save that post to a Notion DB. I'm trying to determine if I should be doing a fetch as well. Maybe I should. So maybe I should instead limit the result. Right now I'm doing 50, I believe. So I might do 25. Yeah. So I just updated it, so I'm fetching 25 results from my bookmarks, because essentially what I'm trying to think through is on load, I want to determine if I've already have that in the DB. So I don't want to rerun the AI analysis on it or resave it. I'm looking to integrate Notion into this application. Notion DB. I also want to fetch the Notion DB to see if the tweet ID is already saved in the DB. If so, I want to put a link to the Notion DB here on the app. Okay. In this case is the Notion MCP that we just added a good integration point for the application, or should I be using the Notion API for this workflow? Given that I want this to work without having cursor open, e.g. by running npm run dev in the terminal to start the project. Okay, let's just see what it says here, and I might turn I don't think it's gonna need that much intelligence to answer that question. We'll see what it says. I mean, if we have to use Notion API, I don't care, because I've done a fairly good amount of stuff with it. Okay, why MCP over API? Yeah, I figured. Okay, well, let's add the Notion API then. Let me think through here. I'm trying to see if I should trying to think if I should use the Notion API. Yo, what's up?
It'll be nice.
All right, I am back. So I was trying to see if I already have a Notion API key, so I'm gonna get that set up. So I'm gonna hide my screen real quick because I don't want to leak my API key. You know, I think I can do this on a different screen. So let me reshare. Okay. That is a nice thing about having dual monitors is I can do stuff that I don't want you guys to see on a different monitor. Notion API key. Connections. Design content. Developer integrations. There we go. Design content. Okay, so it looks like I have an API key already for design content. And I have to connect that to my Notion space. Okay, I think I'm gonna share this on screen just because I think it's helpful for people who are looking to do this kind of integration. So yeah, I'll open it here. Just hopefully in the process I'm not leaking anything. So I have this creator's companion. Here, let me do inspect. And essentially this is like the application that I want to hook onto. This is where all the DBs live. This Creator's Companion is it is a template that I got from a guy called Thomas Frank. Yeah, this is the homie right here, Thomas Frank. And he does a lot of productivity stuff on YouTube, which is cool, but I paid some money to get this database and or this template, so I'm just taking a look at the database structure, content. I don't think I populated anything in here. Yeah, so I have content. This is the primary source for all content creators. Okay. So I do have a thing called Juan Chavez YouTube. And then if I do new project, let me actually go more full screen on this. New project, I'll call it tweet to video test. It puts it in this research. Then I can select what kind of project it is, and I'm going to say it is a video. Let me turn off my Chrome extension here. Okay, and then it has a script and outline, and I think here has like a ideas. Yeah, I gotta look more into how this whole thing kind of works, but essentially I can start like scripting stuff here based on this, and then let's say I want to put it on my YouTube. Okay, I mean, at the minimum I just want it to create a content project. Maybe it can tie it to a video, and then start populating the script. That's kind of the whole flow that I just want to get working here. So let me see if I can find this DB. It's called Content Projects. I think I've seen it on like the main layout. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So it is the Content DB. I'm gonna click on content. Did I already add connections? And I think I already have a API. Yeah. Juan Carlos design content, can read content, cannot insert. That's not what I want. So I might have to use one of my other API. Let's try Fire Budget Tracker. Can insert, can update. Okay. Cool. Well, let's add that. I do have this API already available. It's a weird name, I know, but you know, it works for me. So let's go back here. And this is where I might have to need to hide my screen again, or maybe I can just, yeah, I'm just gonna bring this over for a little bit to my other screen, just so I can add this API key. What's the layout? I want to go to editor layout. Let me double check you guys can't see it. Okay, cool. Envy, let's do Notion, API key, and then view my integrations. I'm in Notion right now in the dashboard, and I'm trying to get this old API. I could make a new API key, but for some reason I did try making a new API key with Notion, but it like wouldn't pop up on the DBs for me to actually use. you know. So I am just using an existing API key that I know works. It gets the permissions that I want. Maybe I could, let's just say Notion JC Notion API integrations. Okay, I did change the name from that Fire to can I contain the name Notion? Sure. JC API integrations. All right. So I have that set up. Let me save this env file. I'll close it and just copy the key name. Okay. Let me come back here. Let's make that full screen. Alrighty, cool. Now we'll say, I believe there's a Notion, let me take a look. I'm just closing some of this stuff. Let's take a look. Notion JS SDK. I think they have an SDK already. Now to go to the Notion docs. Let's go get started. JavaScript SDK. I kind of like that these docs are starting to put these like AI assistants on their page, although they are hella slow. Found results for JavaScript SDK. Like I said, I've done this before, but I don't feel like using or bringing previous projects up because don't know if I've leaked or like have it all set up well. Okay. Okay, I've added the Notion API key. Oh, let me switch this again. API key to the .env file. I want to now integrate a new button on the page after the AI analysis to create a new record in my Notion DB called content. Here is the ID. I'll find that ID later. We will need to install the Notion SDK to get this working. Here is a sample snippet. Oop. 1 second. Give me a second. I'm gonna make a call. And let me find the DB. I think I put it here, database and components. And just gonna give it this. Hopefully it figures it out. I forget whether, I think this is the version, but maybe this might be the DB actually needs to hit. Here is the DB in Notion I want to populate. I want it to create a name for the video and insert the two scripts generated by the AI along with a link to the tweet and any research returned from the AI analysis. Here is the link to the DB. Okay, I actually might provide it the docs as well. Let's hit up this guy. Working with databases. Sure. Here is the docs for reference. Okay, we'll let it marinate over that a little bit, but I think it should be able to one-shot this because I've done this multiple times already and I've seen it be able to integrate with it pretty quickly. I just don't know how it's gonna, like with this template, if I go back, if I hit new, yeah, it wants me select a template thing, but maybe, yeah, maybe it's fine just to populate the content here. We'll just see how it does. Let me delete this guy. Oh, delete. Okay. I think I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna run and do an errand real quick, and then I'll hop back on stream later. Let me just check the I'm just going to check the different streams while I'm at it right now. I'm going to mute the Mac audio so you won't hear the audio anymore. Cool. Well, I am going to wrap it up there. I do like the stream didn't cut out. I am able to stream to 3 different platforms. I was able to put a chat thing here, but of course I don't have any viewers, so there's no chat coming in, but you know, will be interesting a little bit later. And then yeah, maybe I'll start using this content creation thing to like start having more specific content to work on. Like go through and I'll probably do a couple of these scripts like on stream, and then I'll cut it up later in a different video. I think I will leave it there. I'm gonna stream a little bit later, so I will be back. I'll catch you guys